What's going on, guys? TKD one TV video, and we're doing a little bit of a different type of show right now. Billy is, out in New York, I believe, right, Billy? You're on vacation.
Yep. We chilling.
All right. Now, the past few episodes, I've done with Flex and maybe all those other guys, but some things came up in their lives this week where they could not record with me, so I brought in Billy. Gladly coming on vacation, taking a little time out of his vacation to join us on a episode. So much props to Billy. What up?
We chilling. Was just about to go to sleep, but
much props.
But I started texting, so here we are.
True. And and this topic right now is serious, right? It's not a one of these funny topics. It's not like us asking us questions. No. This is gonna be a pretty serious topic, right? So I think I'm just gonna let Billy kind of introduce, the topic at hand, and introduce his side of the story, and his views on everything. So I'm gonna let you have the floor for a little bit here, and I'll jump in when I feel like it.
Okay, so what we're discussing is all of the police violence, from police to regular citizens, and then the opposite with what's happening in Dallas right now. And then just a side topic that's sort of related, the hanging that happened in, I think it was Georgia.
I don't even know that. Well, I was at work this whole day. I didn't even know that.
We'll get to that last, and I'll explain what happened to you.
Okay.
But the Alton Sterling, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, shooting was I'm on both sides of that, because one, if I was him, with everything that's happening with all of the police violence, I would have just dropped to the ground and then just spread my hands out as far as I can, right? And then just let them do whatever. I mean, a broken arm or a dislocated shoulder is much better than dying. So I'm just gonna lay there and let them handcuff me, whatever. Yeah. If he was waving around a gun at somebody, then that's much easier to understand. On the other side, he was already on the ground. You have two people there. I think you can. I think you both police officers who have been trained, can get past this slightly overweight, probably not in shape male.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there was no reason to put 6 shots in his head. I think it was 6 shots. I don't know.
Listen. If it was okay, after I watched that clip, right, I could almost see why you would shoot, right? Not so okay. Like I'm not saying that it was right to kill him. That's not what I'm saying at all. I totally disagree with that. But if the officer felt like he needed to use a gun, I could see that, right? The main issue I have is that he stopped shooting those 3 shots and then fired 3 more shots. That's what I don't like. That's where it was. Yeah. If you watch the video, there are there's 3 shots, a pause, and then 3 more shots. There's a good pause. Like, it's a pretty pause that is not just an everyday pause. No, like it's a legitimate pause. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue where it's like you did not have to fire those other 3 shots at all. 3 is more than enough. You know what I'm saying?
What I was out in the news. I was out at I think we were getting dinner, and the news was on the TV, and what my uncle said actually made a lot of sense. He said, if you comply, you will not die. Which makes a lot of sense. If you just lay down, all they're going to do is handcuff you. You probably will go to prison, because guess what? You just committed a crime. But if you comply, you will not die.
Yeah, the thing that I see in that video, at least, is that if you look at the guy who's on the floor, right, who's getting handled,
you're talking about Sterling,
by these 2 cops. Yeah. Sterling, his right arm is moving, and it's moving a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe that's why the cop yelled, "He's reaching in his pocket gun," because he was and I was trying to explain to other people that there was absolutely no reason. Well, if you put yourself in the cop's shoes, man, and you're trying to detain this guy, and he's reaching in his pocket. You don't know, dude. You don't know what's in that pocket. You have no idea. You have no idea what's in that pocket. That pocket could be, it could hold a knife. It could hold a small gun. It could hold, a lot of things that could hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I kind of feel like, I always hate, when there's people that say, oh, cops are all bad, because, like, cops are still people, too. You know what I'm saying? They still have emotions, and they still fear, and they still feel fear. That makes sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not robots that, are just, programmed and coded. No, like, they're human beings, you know what I'm saying? And they feel fear, right? And, just reaching in that pocket, I could see how one would be scared of that. Because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that cop still has a wife at home, kids at home. Just like that one guy that was on the floor. Just like, Sterling, thank you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the big thing I, walked away from watching that video.
What keeps happening is the first thing that I saw, which was Twitter, but I didn't actually watch the video because, we were going to go get dinner. The caption for the video was, "The cops just murdered a man that was just trying to sell CDs." The next day I heard he was waving a gun at somebody. Then I see that he's trying to get
I heard
his
that
gun.
too.
People are getting too emotionally attached to these people that they don't know. They don't know the full story, and then they just make wild assumptions and then say, "Let's murder all the cops." Yeah. And then you have what happened in Dallas, where 10 cops was already murdered by snipers.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that, but first I want to jump to
the car one.
I don't know if you saw last night the one in that one state. It was that traffic stop, Yeah, that whole thing. That I feel is almost worse than the first one.
It is 100%.
And here's why.
Worse.
Here's why I say it's worse. People, that are in my life agree with me, but there is a difference between these two cases, okay? With case one, Sterling, he's reaching into his pocket. He's not saying what's in his pocket. We don't know what's in his pocket, right? So that's a big thing, right? And we go to case number two. Now, we do not have video proof of the actual shots being fired, okay? Just know that. All we have is the word of the girl that was in the car with the man, right? That's all we have. But if that's all we have, let's just take that as facts. You know what I'm saying? If that's all we got, let's just, conversate as if that was facts, right? We don't know what's fact, but let's just call it fact. Just for,
you know what? I'm going to say that it is 100% facts because if you look at what's happening around it,
it all makes sense.
She's obviously shook, which I don't know how she kept her composure to say all that stuff, but
she definitely broke down at the end of the video.
Yeah, when she was in the cop car, yeah.
In the yeah. She didn't hold it, but yeah.
If you heard the voice of the cop when she turns the camera to him, he's obviously not ready to be in a patrol car at all.
Yeah, no, he looked super scared. Super scared, right? But the main issue I have with this one is that the man was asked, "Please give me your license and registration," from the cop. Okay, the guy says, "Okay, I'm gonna give you my license and registration. I'm gonna reach for it, but I have a gun." And that's what the cops ask you. The cops ask you, "Do you have any weapons in the car?" Yeah. And then you're, supposed to make sure they know, "Hey, I have a gun in this car." That's it. He, without being asked, let the cop know, "I have a gun in my car." So that's like 100% peace right there. I don't see. He didn't want to start conflicts. All right. He was being peaceful right now. Like, he was saying, "Listen, I'm going to get my license and registration. I'm not trying to pull something. I have a gun in the car." He reaches for it and the cop shoots him.
5 times.
What is that? That is way worse in my opinion than the first one. That is way worse. Just on that sole fact that he even let them know that, hey, he has a gun.
Beyond all that, this woman, who when you see her in interviews, she doesn't seem like your typical Michelle Obama, like she can run 3 miles and then beat somebody up. They made her get out of the car, walk backwards to her when there's at least 5 or 6 cops who all have guns pointed to her. Why does she need to walk backwards, get on the ground? It's not why?
I don't know, man. No, and to top that whole thing off,
the kid's there.
The man's daughter was in the back seat. How are you gonna murder a father with the kids in the back seat? How? How do you do that? That's way worse. That is so much worse in my opinion. And that one, I would also say, based off of the cop's reaction to the whole thing in the moment, I feel like that was not done out of intent to kill, right? That's what I feel like he was just
not ready,
scared. I don't feel not ready. I don't feel like he was a racist. I do not feel that at all. I don't feel like he was a racist.
I saw this video. I saw this video, and it was from a TV show, but it makes a lot of sense. I don't know what the name of the show was. I don't know what was happening in the show, but there was this probably 18 or 19-year-old black guy. He's walking into the house, and then a cop from behind him tackles him and then starts to like arrest him. When a different cop from inside the house sprints out of the house and then starts yelling at the cop, saying that that's his foster son. And then he unhandcuffs him and he's like, "Are you all right?" Stands him up, and then he looks at the cop and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "I'm sorry. I didn't know that was your foster son." And he's like, "It's not me that you should be apologizing to." And then with this complete straight face, and he looks really pissed off, he looks at the black kid, then looks at and then looks back at the parent, and then says, "Sorry," and then leaves.
Man, I don't know. And then we go to tonight with this whole thing in Dallas, how, you know, there's basically a war starting over here against... Listen, I was talking to some people at work today when we heard about this. Listen, I told them, listen, two wrongs do not make any sort of right at all, right? Two wrongs do not make a right, period. And you had me that in a text as well too. You kind of said the same thing, right? And
what where
my thing, didn't you text me?
Oh yeah, hate plus more hate equals hate. Less hate.
If some
hate plus more hate equals bad. Just go with that.
Yeah, it's just not right. And then what else do I gotta say about that? I have all these thoughts in my head, but I don't know how to. Do you have anything to say? First about this.
These
Dallas
people
thing?
that are saying that all the cops should be killed, and then there should be like full on war going. They probably didn't pay attention to history class, because whose method worked? Malcolm X or MLK? Who worked?
Yeah. My thing is that how are you gonna go out and kill innocent? Like I just feel like there are like a group of people in this world where like they feel like just because of these instances where cops kill innocent people that all cops are bad and that all cops are racist. That's absolutely not true. I know plenty of cops that are customers at my establishment of work, and they're fine. They're regular everything. They just want to serve their community. You know what I'm saying? It's these few people that are either do it out of racism, they do it out of, you know, hate for another person or another, you know, way a person lives, or, you know, or out of fear, like in the, you know, like if in the second one, or, you know, just that they made a mistake and they're not ready. Whatever it is, right? That does not define all cops at all. That should never define all cops, because that's not all cops. That's not the majority. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I had another point. I keep forgetting the point. I don't know. I just feel like the ultimate, if there is a way to solve this, right? There is no way to solve this. I feel, you know, there's no way to stop this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can limit it. You can try and hope that it doesn't happen as often, but it's not going to stop it, right? Like, you cannot stop a person for being racist. You cannot change a man's way of thought. You know, it's just how they're raised up, just what they think. It's very hard to do that. It's hard to change that, and you can't change that through laws, especially no. So, what I feel has to happen is that cops have to be treated when they commit a crime just like the everyday average American does, right? And the reason why they don't is because they can just go into court and say that I felt that my life was threatened, and then get off the hook because they're a cop. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, Billy, if I go to your house and kill you, Billy, and say that, oh, I felt like my life was threatened to the judge, they're not gonna let me off. They're gonna say, no, there's clear evidence here that Billy was not a threat to you, so you were not in danger because there's no threat. You know what I'm saying? But because they're a cop, they can just, you know, get that brushed off because they're a cop. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that, you know, once a cop commits a crime, that they should go through the constitutional right that we all have as Americans, which is called due process, the process in which a person gets prosecuted and sees a judge and gets, all that other stuff and gets the punishment, which is jail.
Mm-hmm. Which needs to happen. This is. I 100% agree with what you're saying, but off topic. Hillary Clinton. There's a video of Hillary Clinton saying flat out, "I did not send classified documents via an I don't know what the word is, but a via a public email." And then I don't know who it was, but he came out, said that after investigation, almost 20,000 emails were sent that were classified.
Hillary Clinton. Did you hear? Okay, this is off topic again, but this is to this topic. Did you hear that the FBI are not going to charge her?
I know.
They're not going to.
Which is, it's good and bad. Okay, it's good and bad. It's bad because she should be indicted because she committed a crime, a felony.
The good because anything else other than Trump. You mean? Is that the good?
No, the good is because if she gets indicted, then Bernie Sanders becomes a Democratic nomination. And then there's a good chance that if Bernie Sanders becomes a nomination, he's going to be president, which is fucking. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about that.
But what was the point before the off-topic point?
That cops should be held accountable.
What was I going?
Cops should be held accountable.
Was I finished on my point, or was I?
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah, was on my point. I don't know. I feel like there's something that I'm missing that I'm not bringing up. I know, guys. I know this is a long episode, but we're just over here just rambling. Because
the thing that
we're just talking about this.
The other thing was, I think it was a week ago, the KKK said that they were going to make a comeback, and then yesterday, I think it was, a man was found hanged in that same park, and they listed it as suicide. Nobody hangs himself from a tree in the same park that the KKK just advertise themselves from.
Suspicious. Is there like concrete evidence or no? Is there?
The only concrete evidence is that it was the same park.
Yeah,
it was a black man.
So it's just off of like.
And the KKK they advertised a week ago. So I'm jumping to conclusions, but I'd say it was a pretty good conclusion.
Yeah. I don't know. Just kind of to just wrap off my whole, my own thoughts on this whole thing is I just feel like cops need to be treated more as a regular citizen when they do a crime as opposed to an officer, right?
Yeah.
And that just there needs to be a punishment. These cops cannot just be let off again and again and again. You know what I'm saying? We saw it with Trayvon Martin. We saw it with the man that got chokehold, you'd say. To death in New York. Yeah, that guy got acquitted. Like,
none of the cops have been arrested.
If I go out and choke Billy, I'm not gonna get acquitted. I'm not gonna get acquitted. I'm not. So why can a cop go into court and say, "Oh, I felt like my life was threatened," and then get acquitted? I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like needs to happen, overall. Do you have any closing statements for this topic, Billy? I know it's a long one, but do you have any closing statements for this whole issue and for the folks?
Country about to go through some shit, and I don't want to be involved.
For real. Listen, man. Through struggle, we will overcome. You know what I'm saying? That's real.
I fucking hope so.
And on that note, as we're watching this episode of Scramble Saturday, I believe it's episode 19. Is it 19?
I don't know. A lot. Let's just go with.
If that's wrong, episode a lot. I'm pretty sure. I want to check real quick. And just kill time right now because I'm pretty sure it's 19. I'm 100% sure it's 19. I'm still checking. Hey, we just hit 80 subscribers.
Hey.
It is episode 19. Episode 19 of Scramble. So I think as you're watching, and if you guys want the content, please down below. You can check Billy's links down below in the description. You have any closing statements, Billy, for the crowd? Any closing statements, real quick? Just on your.
I want to play Skyrim and that new Spider-Man game that's coming out.
Deal. So do I. Well, not really Skyrim because I never played Skyrim, but I won't play Spider-Man.
Skyrim's so
good. let me know down below in the comments below. Let me know your guys' opinions on this whole issue. Do you guys think that all cops should die? Do you guys blame all cops? Do you guys, have, regular, logical arguments like me and Billy do? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, also, you can check out my media links. You find my Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that good stuff over there. So to see what's popping on my day-to-day life, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching. And as always, I got you.